How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Wonderful Everyday. Recording this on a lovely Thanksgiving day here in the States. So this is going to be coming out the day after Thanksgiving. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, well, you know, happy Thanksgiving to you. I am thankful to be able to record stuff of this sort and entertain you guys, which, you know, it's a fun hobby, all in all. But anyways, in the last episode, everything's just gone to shit. Everything's getting worse and worse for Takashima, and I feel really bad. But, like, for example, right now, she is without panties after almost being raped by those goons that we're used to seeing from Takushi's route. And I guess just moving forward, we are going to see them, and they are going to be the annoyances that they give off that vibe of. Anyways, let's read on, let's see what happens, and see if anything else gets worse, because things have kind of just been spiraling into that direction of getting worse and worse. I didn't have any time to go back and put my swimsuit on underneath either. And there's something else that was really strange. I had a sewing kit in my locker before. I usually keep a portable sewing kit around just in case, but I couldn't see it anywhere. I hate to think what someone would do with my PE uniform, but it's just bizarre that someone would steal a sewing kit. It's not like worrying about it was going to make it any better. My spirits were low as I trudged back to the changing room. When I grabbed the swimsuit I had left behind, so we're just going to give up? Nah, man. I'd be okay with a tardy. I have to run a class. I held my skirt down as I ran. I have such a bad feeling, man. Like I said, everything's just been kind of spiraling downward. Well, the music did a nice little change. Even as the teacher read a famous section from Hojoki, I had to endure the unpleasant sensation of my privates resting on bare wood. At first, it was cold, but it slowly warmed up from body heat, and it stopped feeling so unpleasant after that, but it's kind of embarrassing to admit that I got used to it. At first I was nervous, but the class was perfectly normal. It was so boring that for a while, I forgot I wasn't wearing any underwear. It's not like anyone can see when I'm sitting normally. This must be another one of Akasaka-san's pranks. I wanted to figure out for sure who did this, but at the same time, I didn't want to go near either of them after what happened last night. I'm really scared of them. What's that noise, dude? I felt a cold sensation on my leg, and then I heard an unpleasant sound from below. I heard someone giggling when I started to turn. Kojima-san, another quiet girl in my class, though not as quiet as me, sits behind me. When I turned my head, I noticed Kojima-san sitting in a different seat than usual. So then the person behind me cutting my skirt with scissors was... I suddenly remembered that the seat Kojima-san was sitting in was Akasaka-san's seat. That is just so what is their vendetta? Why are they doing this, man? I hear her muffled giggles as the strange cold sensation made its way up my leg. She was cutting my skirt with scissors and then pulling the two sides apart so people could see. I can't believe someone would do that. I guess I ended up making them mad last night. I did everything they asked, so why are they doing this? But I can't tell her to stop, and I can't yell out either. If I make a scene, I'll look like the pervert. And I don't know what they'll do to me later if I fight back. Kojima-san should go back to her normal seat in the next class. I just have to endure it until then. I know that fighting back will just make it worse. That's why my past experiences with her have taught me. So I just let Akasaka-san do what she wanted and try to minimize the damage. Then after class, I can go to my locker and get my... Oh, fuck, the sewing kit. They stole my sewing kit ahead of time so they could embarrass me like this. She laughed, like she could tell exactly what I was thinking. She's ridiculing me. Well, I was right in the intro. Things are just spiraling down. When the first period ended, I rotated my skirt 120 degrees so the cut was over my left thigh. I used my left hand to hold the cut closed so the people around me couldn't see. I wished I had a safety pin or hairpin today. I have no luck at all. Then that bitch Akasaka-san went back to her seat where Kojima-san had been sitting before. Yeah, I was so frustrated and depressed that I couldn't pay attention to class. And the reason they stole my PE uniform was so I couldn't change out of this. These people are the worst. Oh, fuck. I felt my skirt being pulled again, and the same ruthless sound of scissors reached my ears. Stop, please, just stop. I looked at Akasaka-san, who I thought must have been doing it again. Then I saw Kojima-san sitting in yet another seat that wasn't hers, and I was struck speechless. It was Kitami-san's seat. Instead of going back to Akasaka-san's seat, she went to Kitami-san's instead. Then, yep. That's so fucked, man. Just so messed up. I turned my skirt again so that both slits were covered by my thighs, and my crotch was still covered. Then I held both cuts closed, and I put my head down on my desk. I don't even know what class this is anymore, and I don't really care. Anyway, once we get to lunch, I can hide the cuts and go to the teacher's lounge. I should be able to borrow a sewing kit or something to fix my clothes. They probably won't ask what happened. They're all convinced that there's no bullying in this school. Mrs. Senegawa doesn't want to dig her own grave. Oh my god. The scissors started cutting again. There was no way I could turn my skirt without the cuts showing.
それでは高島さん、174ページの3行目から訳して。高島さん、ちゃんと聞いてますか？あ、はい。174ページの3行目ですね。
The teacher suddenly called on me. I wasn't ready for it at all, so it was like I just had a bucket of cold water dumped on me.
サムは沼地へ行こうとする客人たちを呼び止めて。
高島さん、ちゃんと立って訳してください。
それは。
If I stood up and everyone looked at me, there was no way my skirt would protect my modesty.
どうしました？立って話せない理由でもあるのですか？
He raised his voice and gave me a harsh look. There's nothing I can do. I have to stand up.
続けます。サムは沼地へ行こうとする客人たちを呼び止めて、お客様方、あそこには獰猛で大きなワニがおります。悪いことは申しません。興味本位で近づくべきではありませんよと親切に注意したのですが、都会育ちで野生の恐ろしさを知らぬ客人たちは。ねえ、ちょっとあれ。
おいおい、マジかよ。
どういう趣味？常識を疑うわ。
Just as I had expected, everyone started whispering to each other the second I stood up. I felt like crying, but I couldn't cry now, not here. I continued translating, holding back my tears.
サムを見 見下して笑いました。俺たちは銃を持っている。この世界に怖いものなどあるものかと。愚かな人々よ。そんなピストルが役に立つのは、せいぜい水辺のガチョウくらいでしょうに。
はい、そこまで。よくできましたね。ダックとグースを混同しなかったのはさすがです。
I collapsed back into my seat, burying my face in my notes and trying not to listen to all the whispering around me.
くそ、もう少し長く訳させろよ。
So they all saw. I must have thought that I cut those slits into my skirt myself. Who would do something dumb like that?
ちょっとみんな、ざわざわとうるさいですよ。
I guess the teacher couldn't see. I can be happy about that at least. It's still way too breezy. I can't wait for lunch. I'll hold down my skirt and run to the teacher's lounge once this period is over. That's my only choice.
それでは、今日はここまで。
That was quick. I quickly got up and left. I was worried about where the boys were looking, but all I could do was hold down my skirt.
ちょっと待てよ。
No. When I got out into the hallway, someone grabbed my left hand from behind and stopped me. Akasaka-san and Kitami-san were standing there smiling. They knew I would run. They chased me the second they saw me get up.
さ、高島、昨日は本当にごめんな。あれやりすぎたなって思っててさ。
どういうこと？
とりあえず教室に戻ろうよな、高島。いや。おい、あのビデオあんたの顔映ってんだからな。ネットで流したらどうなるか分かってるな。悪いようにしないからさ。とりあえずこっち来いよ。なんかさ、高島ってクラシックバレエ習ってたじゃない？
No, dude, come on. Everything is just getting worse and worse. Oh my god. No.
はい。
I reluctantly answered her question. I'm like a frog cornered by a snake.
メグがさ、ダンスやってるんだけど、わからないことがあるって。そうなんだよ。ダンスの基本は DVD でマスターしたんだけどさ。やっぱ私も伝統的な技術を見直すべき時が来たと思ったんだ。は
あ。
そこでクラシックバレエ経験者である高島の出番ですよ。クラシックバレエといえば白鳥のように華麗なスピンでしょ。なんていうかこうくるりっとね。はいはい、あれは美しいよね。
That's why they were so eager to have me demonstrate.
いいよね、高島。
No.
そんなことできません。
何言ってるの？友達だろ、私ら。
Absolutely not. How are we friends? These people are scum.
はあ。じゃああのビデオ、ネットで流してもいいんだね。ここで恥ずかしい思いをしても一緒じゃないけど、ネットで広がった映像は永遠に消えないって話だぜ。いけ何その反抗的な態度。別に私らはネットで流してもいいんだよ。
それは。
めんどくさいから流したら？写メなら簡単にあげられるだろ。いいね。出会い系とかに貼るか。
ごめんなさい。やります。
そう？別に私ら無理強いとかしたくないし、あんたがやりたくないなら別にいいけど。
They're the worst, but I didn't have the will to fight back anymore.
いいえ。やりたいんです。やらせてください。
そう？まあ、高島がそこまで言うなら仕方がないかな。ねえ、さとこ。ちょっと待ってね。すぐ場所を開けるからさ。よいしょ。よいしょ。
They had me trapped, and I still couldn't get to the teacher's lounge. It was lunchtime and Kitami-san started moving desks to make space for me to dance. All the students around me knew what had happened to my skirt. People laughing, people averting their eyes. It looked like most of the boys in our class were interested, but I guess they didn't want to be associated with the bullying. They just stood to the side and watched it unfold.
主にターンの技を見せてよね。くるくる回るやつだよ。
はい。わかっています。
これでいいかな、高島。
はい。十分だと思います。
おいおい、なんか乗り気じゃねえな。私らが無理強いさせてるみたいで気分悪いぞ。
いいえ、そうではありません。
んじゃあ自分でやりたくて踊るってみんなに言えよ。
The worst. She's the absolute worst.
自分でやりたくてやります。
なんだよ、そんなんじゃ聞こえねえよ。ちゃんと言えよ。高島ザクロはこれからバレエを踊ります。皆さんしっかり見てくださいって。
Despair. Endless despair. That's all I can say. The bullying last time was awful, but it wasn't like this. That video is the reason. If I had completely refused that video, they would have just bullied me with violence and rejection just like before. I would have preferred that, rather than having it end up like this. But now that they had the video, there was nothing I can do. I inhaled deeply, desperately.
高島ザクロはこれからバレエを踊ります。皆さんしっかり見てください。
The classroom was utterly silent. Everyone was completely focused on me. No one came to save me. Oh, that's right. What happened to Kimika? She didn't get hurt since I cooperated, right? But if she did get hurt, then why didn't she come to school today? The answer is simple. Everything's useless. All my suffering is just a game, something to amuse them. I give up. I'm a worm.
それじゃあ高島、一つ警戒に頼むわ。
はい。それでは基本的なターンを。
Aw, man. Aw, man, dude. That's a lot worse than I was imagining in my head. I forgot their skirts are a little longer than what I'm used to seeing in anime. I guess I technically need to go in. I need to adjust all this shit again because it ain't looking so good. I pretended I was alone in my world of white as I took position to do the en dehors. There are lots of movements in ballet, and each one has its own specific name, but I've already forgotten all that trivia, and they probably don't care to hear it anyway. I moved my other leg like an axle, then opened my arms wide and held my balance. Finally, I curved my leg like a flamingo and spun. Yep.
いかがでしょうか。
いや、回り続けてくんないとわかんないよ。
I started crying. I just wanted to run away. But I couldn't even do that. I had to do what they said. I had no courage left. That's why it ended up like this. If I had a bit of courage, just a little bit of courage.
早くしろよ。
はい。
おお、ちょっと予想以上なんですけどこれ。だら、高島をなめんなよ。
I didn't have my ballet shoes, so I couldn't spin as quickly, but they made me spin as well as I could.
アンドゥトラ、アンドゥトラ。
I spun as she yelled out the numbers, occasionally making small adjustments to hold my posture. Both my eyes were peeled open, but that was just to help me keep my balance. My eyes were open, but they didn't see anything. I didn't want to look at anything, so I didn't.
アンドゥトラ、アンドゥトラ。すげえバカ。
There were several quiet, giggling voices mixed in with Kitami-san's jubilant orders. Of course they were watching. My skirt was torn wide open for everyone to see.
アンドゥトラ、アンドゥトラ。
And without any underwear on underneath, I was completely exposed.
おい、あれってもろじゃね？気持ちはわかるけどさ、女子のいじめは陰湿だから見ない方がいいぞ。
Hey, you know, at least they're aware.
そうそう、俺らも共犯にされるからな。さっさと飯食って外行こうぜ。
One of the boys who was enjoying the show was quickly hushed by his peers. I never expected anyone to stop this farce for my sake anyway.
アンドゥトロワ、はい、ここでストップ。
Kitami-san suddenly stopped the rhythm and ordered me to stop. I had to lift my leg way into the air to stop myself from tumbling from the momentum. That's fucked up, bro. This is all fucked up. Okay, I heard enough. I froze in my position with my leg in the air, and the entire gallery of onlookers burst into laughter.
いやー、実に美しいね。ほんと、感動もんだぜ。
Then Nakasaka-san and Kitami-san crouched down and came over to me, looking directly at my exposed genitals. I managed to endure it before, but when they did that, my face was instantly flushed dark red. I've heard that people can be crueler to their own gender. The girls looked at me and laughed openly, but the boys tried to act like they weren't looking, even though they all wanted to see. Not that it really made a difference at that point.
はい、もう足を下ろしていいよ。
これで参考になったんですか?
Oh, probably not. God damn, this shit's fucking awful. Like, sick to my stomach kind of awful.
ああ、もうバッチリ。ありがとな、高島。やっぱ本物はすげえな。マジで尊敬するぜ。
そうですか。それは良かったです。
I guess that was that on that one. Jesus. Once the humiliating dance was over, I took cellophane tape out of my desk and taped my skirt. Then I left and hid in a stall in the bathroom. I wanted to hide until school was over, but I was afraid that would just make Akasaka-san and Kitami-san mad. Maybe I just don't care what they do to me anymore. When I dragged myself back into the classroom, everyone started giggling as if on cue. What? I expected some of them to react, since they saw the spectacle, excuse me, but I just didn't expect them to react like this. I couldn't tell what they were thinking. They just looked at me, then at the blackboard, then back at me. Ugh. When I looked at the blackboard, I instantly understood. I jumped and grabbed the white cloth on top of the blackboard. Then I shoved the white strap, my panties, into my pocket and then grabbed the eraser. On the blackboard in big letters, "By my panties, they're still warm." That is just so messed up. That's what it said. I endured the ridicule as I marched back to my seat, my head down so I didn't have to look anyone in the eye. And then completely fed up with it, if you want to look, then go ahead and look. I put my panties back on. What's this? Would someone actually do that? My thoughts were calm, but I can't believe, or I couldn't believe that a human could be so cruel. What a roundabout, annoying, perverse way of bullying someone. The crotch of my panties had been cut out with scissors. I ground my teeth and murmured that curse to myself. Then I put my panties on regardless of the hole.
よし、授業を始める。あ、何笑ってるんだ?
When the familiar feeling of compression on my lower body returned, a middle-aged teacher came into the classroom and heard the girls laughing.
なんだ、どうしたんだ? 先生の顔に何かついているのか?
なんでもありません。授業を始めてください。 時間がもったいないから早く授業をお願いします。
何？お前らがそんなこと言うなんて。今日は祝日だったのか？
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving / Black Friday.
それなら家に帰らなくちゃならんが、みんな来てるもんな。は
はははは。
先生、それつまんない。
ああ、それではお望みの授業を始めよう。教科書の85ページを。
What are they? What is this place? What is that man standing and laughing? What are all these people who are sitting and laughing at me? Where am I? The people in this classroom can't be human. That's the one thing I'm sure of. Well, yeah, something along those lines. Okay, well, in the episode there, somewhere in the middle of that, I had to stop recording and came back. Went to go do my Thanksgiving feast at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because that's how us white folk do it. But no, that was a tough episode to record for reasons. Just the content. I predicted it in the beginning of the episode. That shit really just got worse and worse. Which really sucks. It really does. We're seeing I want to say a transformation very similar to the transformation we saw with Takuji. The world around him started to crumble, and he became a different person. I'm starting to believe that that's going to happen here with Takashima. But I guess time will tell. We'll see what happens in the next episode. So, enjoy your holiday if you indeed had one. If you're going Black Friday shopping here in the States, be safe and all that. Definitely not worth it to get the items that are out there, but, you know, people believe that, well, it is. And regardless, you know, thanks for coming by. And like I said in the beginning of the episode, I am so thankful for what I get to do, and that is entertaining you guys. I will see you all in the next episode of Wonderful Everyday.